Today over illegal appointments she allegedly made for several positions inside the village, among them.
I'm a private investigator. I've got some book that says super mayor. Inside I have from the United States District Court, Northern District of Illinois.
Within the village, including Tiffany Henyard, often referred to as the super mayor of Dalton, Illinois, has long been a figure of controversy. However, her latest actions have left many in shock. From extravagant spending to mounting allegations of corruption, Henyard is now at the heart of a political storm that shows no signs of subsiding. If you thought the drama couldn't escalate further, think again. This story is far from its conclusion.
Several new developments in South suburban Dalton today. First, the state comptroller has suspended some payments to the village because it has failed to follow the law by providing financial reports.
So, what's the latest with Tiffany Henyard? Well, the mayor is back in the spotlight, but this time for all the wrong reasons. You might recall her from past scandals, but now the heat has intensified. It's not just her questionable handling of public funds. She's facing new accusations of misusing taxpayer money for personal expenses, including lavish shopping sprees and first-class travel. As for Henyard, she's not backing down. Instead, she's pushing back, claiming that her critics are motivated by jealousy of her success and are targeting her simply because she's a black woman in power.
For a year now, we've been reporting on questionable spending by a South suburban politician named Tiffany Henyard, but we only knew half the story.
Let's take a step back and look at how this all unfolded. Tiffany Henyard, who became mayor of Dalton in 2021, has faced accusations ranging from mismanaging village finances to using public resources for personal gain. And when we say personal gain, we mean thousands of dollars spent on luxury hotels and even Amazon shopping sprees. In one eyebrow-raising report, Henyard reportedly spent over $43,000 in a single day on Amazon. And that's just the beginning. Public records show she also stayed at high-end hotels like the Four Seasons in Atlanta and the Marriott in Times Square, New York luxuries that most people could only dream of, racking up bills in the process. But the spending didn't stop there. Henyard didn't just treat herself, she also brought along her close advisors and allies on these lavish trips, with taxpayers footing the bill for their first-class flights and five-star accommodations. While Henyard claims these trips were for the benefit of the community, many critics argue they looked more like personal vacations than official business. In response to the growing backlash, Henyard has doubled down, playing the victim card. At a recent public meeting, she lashed out at her critics, saying, "You all should be ashamed of yourselves because you're black, and you're sitting up here attacking a black woman in power." She even went as far as to label her opponents grandstanders, accusing them of being jealous of her position. According to Henyard, she's being unfairly targeted simply because she's a successful black woman leading a village, something her critics just can't seem to accept.
One way that the government always does it is to go and investigate people around her, and that's what they're doing.
But here's the thing, Henyard's critics aren't buying her excuses. In fact, Dalton trustees and local community members have been outspoken in their frustration with her leadership or, in their view, lack thereof. Trustee Brittany Norwood didn't hold back, stating, "Be a good leader and bring proposals to the front so not just us, but residents and everyone else in America know how the money is being spent, and that's just the tip of the iceberg." Henyard's issues extend far beyond questionable spending. She's also been accused of retaliating against anyone who dares to oppose her. Several local business owners have come forward, alleging that Henyard has shut down their operations simply because they refused to contribute to her political campaign. One local businessman, Lawrence Gardner, claimed that Henyard pressured him into donating to her campaign, and when he declined to renew the contribution, she had his trucking business shut down. Gardner even compared her to Nino Brown, the notorious drug lord from New Jack City, suggesting that Henyard's tactics are reminiscent of the gangster-inspired character she's been accused of channeling down to the outfits she reportedly wears to public meetings. So, if you're wondering whether things could get any messier in Dalton, the answer is a resounding yes. Henyard's administration has been mired in scandal after scandal, and now there's talk of a federal investigation into her spending habits. That's right, the FBI has reportedly served subpoenas to both Henyard and members of her administration, digging into her financial records, with millions of taxpayer dollars unaccounted for, along with allegations of forged checks and missing financial documents. It's no surprise that federal authorities are now involved.
This administration is shameful. Y'all are a disgrace.
We're watching the fall of this administration.
But Henyard isn't backing down without a fight. In fact, she's already gearing up for her re-election campaign, and despite the growing controversy surrounding her, she's confident she'll win another term. Recently, she announced her plans to run again with all the flair you'd expect from someone who's dubbed herself the super mayor. Of course, her critics are furious. Trustee Jason House, who is running against her as part of the Clean House slate, didn't mince words. "We look forward to Election Day and hope the residents will vote for us to continue doing the work we've been doing." And House isn't the only one hoping for change. Many community members are fed up with Henyard's antics and are calling for new leadership that will prioritise the village's needs over personal gain. Speaking of the village's needs, let's take a closer look at Dalton's financial state under Henyard's leadership. When she took office, Dalton had a general fund balance of $561 million. Fast forward to May 2024, and that balance has plummeted to a deficit of $365 million. Yes, you read that right, Dalton is now millions of dollars in debt, and vendors aren't getting paid. With the village's finances in shambles and more layoffs on the horizon, it's clear that Henyard's leadership has taken a serious toll on the community.
Very appreciative to receive the information today. We have the best mayor ever. I've been here since 1993.
But wait, it gets even worse. As if her financial mismanagement wasn't enough, Henyard is now facing eviction from her own home. That's right, the mayor, who reportedly earns nearly $300,000 a year, is being evicted for failing to pay rent to her landlord. Janetta Hull, the landlord, has gone public with her frustrations, revealing that Henyard and her boyfriend, Kamal Woods, haven't paid rent since August. Hull, who says she has a child to care for, expressed her disbelief, stating, "I can't afford to pay for where you live when you're making $375,000 according to Hull." Henyard even went so far as to change the locks and the garage code to keep her out of the property. Now Hull is left with the burden of paying legal fees to evict them.
Please tell me how you're out of order. You're out of order. How do they operate?
So let's recap. Henyard is under federal investigation, facing eviction, and running for re-election, all while Dalton is sinking deeper into debt. It almost sounds like something straight out of a reality TV show, right? In fact, some people close to Henyard have speculated she might actually be filming one, given the cameras that always seem to be following her around. Meanwhile, residents of Dalton are furious. One local, Andrea McKay, voiced her frustration, saying, "We have senior citizens who can't even afford basic necessities." Another resident, Valeria Stubbs, didn't hold back, stating, "Tiffany needs to be locked up. She needs to be made an example out of. She can't just keep using our money and spending it however she wants. Like the job comes with a cash register." Despite all the backlash, Henyard seems determined to hold on to power. She's even taken to social media to defend herself, delivering a 90-minute Facebook Live rant where she suggested she might seek the arrest of her critics. Yes, you read that correctly. She's now threatening to press charges against those who oppose her. During the live stream, she declared, "I will be seeking arrests for individuals involved. I will be pressing charges." While she didn't specify what crimes her opponents allegedly committed, the message was clear: Henyard isn't going down without a fight. What makes the situation even more surreal is the growing rift between Henyard and her former allies. Sources close to the mayor have revealed that several key members of her team have distanced themselves or outright turned against her. One of the most notable shifts came when her former assistant, Carmen Carlisle, publicly criticized Henyard, accusing her of gross mismanagement and unethical behavior. Carlisle, who once worked closely with Henyard, has now become one of her most vocal critics, even providing testimony that has fueled the ongoing federal investigation. This defection is just the latest in a string of betrayals, leaving Henyard more isolated than ever.
I'm about to address some things as the supervisor. There will be no comments, there won't be anything, it'll just be me addressing you guys to tell you what's going on.
Adding to her growing list of problems, Henyard's extravagant spending has reportedly created deep rifts within the local government. Trustees who once supported her are now openly questioning her every move, particularly in light of the village's ongoing financial crisis. At a recent village board meeting, tensions were high as trustees grilled Henyard over her use of village credit cards. Trustee Jason House, who is running against Henyard in the upcoming election, didn't hold back, stating, "We're not just questioning her leadership anymore, we're questioning her integrity." With internal support eroding, it's clear that Henyard's grip on power is slipping. Yet, she refuses to acknowledge the growing opposition. Meanwhile, community members are increasingly taking to social media to organize rallies and demand her resignation. Local activists, fed up with Henyard's behavior, have begun circulating petitions calling for a recall election. As grassroots efforts to remove her from office gain momentum, Henyard's political future seems more uncertain than ever. But despite the mounting pressure, she continues to insist that these efforts are part of a coordinated smear campaign aimed at discrediting her.
Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard is finding a way to spend money that trustees say they intentionally did not approve, one describing it to...
Of course, not everyone is buying into Henyard's victim narrative. One commenter on social media wrote, "She better go to prison for hurting all those people and stealing all that money." Another pointed out, "She loves an audience that doesn't challenge her." It's clear that the tide is turning against Henyard, but with her re-election campaign officially underway, it's anyone's guess how this will all play out. So, what's next for Dalton's super mayor? Will she manage to cling to power despite the growing scandals, or will the residents finally say enough is enough? And what about the federal investigation? Could Henyard face charges for her alleged misuse of funds? We want to hear your thoughts. Let us know in the comments below.